Aaron Judge plus Yankee Stadium just doesn't really feel like a fair combination. I mean, look, he can sneeze on a baseball and it's going to go out the short porch. Jesse Winker, he was playing like prime Ken Griffey Jr. yesterday. I'm not even joking. Ronald Acuna Jr., he looks like a brand new player this year and not in a good way. Kyle Tucker, he showed why we love baseball. He didn't make a swing change. He changed his cleats and he became Barry Bonds. And speaking of Barry Bonds, Ohtani, he's been putting up Bonds-esque numbers in the box and he's looking for his first walk-off in 4 years. We're going to talk about all of that and more in today's MLB Recap. We post these every single day. Thank you for supporting the channel, whether that's with a subscription, using code Fuzzy on SeatGeek, using code Fuzzy on Underdog Fantasy. I just really appreciate you guys. All right, here we go. The first game of the day, the Twins at the Guardians. The Minnesota Twins are trying to avoid getting swept. Andres Gimenez got his 7-game hit streak with a 2-run home run off of Chris Paddock. Andres now has 27 RBIs. He's 17th in F4 since 2022. He's been very impressive. Jose Miranda tagged Tanner Bibee for a solo blast, and that was it from either pitcher. Chris Paddock, he allowed 2 runs over 8 innings, while Bibee, he allowed just the 1 run. Bibee was a strikeout machine in the minor leagues, so he's been very frustrated at the fact that his strikeout numbers are down because big league hitters, they foul off more pitches. They're not going to strike out as much. But we saw some of that nasty stuff yesterday. He punched out 8 Twins en route to only allowing 4 hits over 7 innings. He was fired all the way up after that final strikeout, and rightfully so. We head to the 9th inning. Clase, he's going to close this out. Brian Rocchio is not going to throw to first. He's going to go for the harder play at second. They challenged the play, and even though I thought Buxton was out, it was way too close. There was not enough evidence to overturn it. Maybe that's karma for the Twins getting hosed by the umpires a few days ago. Here we go. Finally, Kirilloff rolls over. No, Clase dropped it. Naylor picks it up. He then fires to third base for some reason. Buxton must have deked Naylor or something like that because Buxton scores easy. The game's tied up. Cleveland had back-to-back game-ending ground balls, and now it's a tie ball game. Clase ultimately got the next hitter, so the hope is not lost. Will Brennan, thank you, sweet prince. For some reason, Johan Duran ditched his 102-mile-per-hour fastball and grooved Brennan a curveball. He threw a curveball to Jose. He went yard. And there's another curveball to a lefty. I don't know why he did that, but that's a walk-off 3-run home run. The Twins, they do get swept. We're going to go find the Mets game now because former Guardian Francisco Lindor, he's back in Cleveland today for the first time since the trade. I'd almost kind of forgotten that he's never been back, so don't miss out on that one. The Mets, they should have been going for a sweep as well, just that Edwin Diaz, he had an implosion. You know what happened. As you can see, though, Tyrone Taylor and Harrison Bader, they got cooking early. Chef Taylor with a 2-run double off the wall, and Chef Harrison, he doubled the score on a double of his own. Bader's hitting .280 with 12 RBIs and 6 stolen bases. That's very solid. Speaking of solid, that's some solid wood right there. Dane Myers launched a 2-run tater off of Sean Manaea for his first of the year, and Christian Bethancourt, he brought it within 1 on a home run of his own. All the Marlins have to do is keep it close, and yeah, they did not do that. Brandon Nimmo, he cranked a 2-run home run. That's his 7th. He has a 128 OPS plus despite the fact that he's hitting .217. That's because he's top 4% in walks on top of the 7 home runs. He's also been very unlucky as well. Brett Beatty, you love to see that. Beatty finds a hole for an RBI base knock, and Reed Garrett, he struck out the side in the 8th. He's back out for the 9th, and he ends it on a beautiful slider. He gets the final 6 outs for the save. By the way, Reed Garrett now owns a stupid 0.72 ERA and an almost 15 strikeouts per 9. He had 32 strikeouts in his first 44 big league innings. He has 41 strikeouts in 25 innings this year. He might be their closer for the next few weeks. All right, let's get back to some games that were decided by a run or two. Almost 53,000 people showed up for this Reds and Dodgers finale. It was 1:10 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon in May. That sounds absolutely amazing. I wish I was there. Not just because of the weather, but because it was a fun and tightly contested game. Hunter Green, he got Ohtani and Freddie Freeman. He was dotting that fastball early on, and so was Landon Knack, although his was a little bit slower at 94, but people think that 94 is slow. 94, 95 with some movement is still almost impossible to hit. It's just hitters in baseball are that good now. They make it look easy. Like this guy. Andy Pies finally got a non-fastball. Hunter, he hanged it, and then Andy banged it. I don't know if that's proper English. It doesn't matter. Rookie Andy Pies now has 5 home runs. He gave the other rookie, Landon Knack, a 2-run lead, which was big because Teoscar, he took a brutal, awful route to that Espinal double, so he broke in a few feet, and he took forever to adjust and course correct, so that run is going to score, but that was the only run that Knack allowed. Knack was replaced by Ryan Yarbrough, who actually ended up loading the bases for Alex Vesia, and Vesia, he couldn't get Spencer Steer to bite on that backdoor breaking ball. Now Vesia did lock in. He got LA out of that jam, so it's 2-2 in the bottom half of that frame. And Cincy, they wanted this strike him out, throw him out, but Hayward, he's safe. Green's day is done. He was very impressive. He struck out 8 over 6 1/3. By the way, his ERA over his last 5 is sitting at a minuscule 2.03. The pen ended that frame, so the stolen base meant nothing. Both pens were so nasty, we actually needed some free baseball, and look who it is. Ohtani, he has not had a walk-off in 4 years. Reset the clock. Ohtani, he ripped a game-winning single. The Dodgers have won 3 games in a row. They're 32-17, and the Reds, they've now lost 16 out of their last 20. They're dead last in the NL Central. The Pirates had a similar stretch over the last few weeks where they won a bunch early, then they lost almost every single game for a week or two, but they've bounced back lately. Jack Sawinski, he must have entered in the auto home run cheat code versus Taillon before he made his MLB debut, because over the last few years, he's owned Taillon. That's 4 home runs and 7 plate appearances versus Jameson. He's got to just pretend that every pitcher is Taillon. Like, they got to make him glasses that artificially puts Taillon's face on every single pitcher, because if that's the case, he's going to be the next Babe Ruth. The Pirates' lead was short-lived as Mike Tauchman got a free triple because McCutchen, he just let it land like 2 feet away from him. The Ivy wall's probably intimidating, so maybe he didn't want to get hurt or something. I don't know, but Tauchman, he scored on a Seiya sac fly. Pittsburgh, they need their rookie second baseman Nick Gonzalez to clutch up, and he did it. He's now 3 for 5 with 6 RBIs in his young career with the bases loaded. He's showing some serious clutch genes to begin his career. He's up to 8 RBIs in his first 10 games this season. And if you're not looking at the screen, look at it for just a quick second. They don't call Chicago the Windy City for nothing, because Morel's moonshot turned into a can of corn flyout. Connor Joe, he thought it was gone as well. Then he had to sprint forward after seeing the wind bring it all the way back in. The wind helped out big time, as it was just a sac fly to bring it within 1. And this flyout in the 9th ends at Bednar now has 10 saves. By the way, I do want to tip my cap to Mitch Keller. His quality start helps the Pirates take 3 out of 4 from the Cubs, which is big against a division rival. Also, shout out the bullpen as well. Pirates relievers Colin Holderman, Aroldis Chapman, and David Bednar, they went 3 no-hit frames. The Brewers got tossed around by the Astros, so those Pirates wins feel even bigger, and same for the Cubs and their losses. After Yelich singled home Bryce Terang, Altuve, he belted a belt-high fastball for his 8th. I didn't even know that he had 8 home runs, but he's one of a handful of guys with 8 home runs and 7 stolen bases. Jordan, he laced a double right after and eventually scored on a Singleton groundout. So this Jake Myers double is going to make it 4-1. The Astros, they're one of the best teams in baseball at finding these guys like Jose Siri, Jake Myers, Chas McCormick, just dudes who play insane defense and can fly on the bases. The Astros got their 5th run on a Singleton single, but we're going to skip to Kyle Tucker because the superstitions were out. He started this game 0 for 3 with 3 punch-outs. He was wearing green cleats and he ditched them for some orange ones, and not just orange cleats, they're magic orange cleats. King Tuck reties Henderson with his 14th home run, and then innings later, he claims sole possession. Kyle took a dotted up and away fastball and smoked it for a 3-run tater into the Crawford boxes. That's 15 home runs for Tucker. He's on pace for 52 home runs, 24 stolen bases, and a near 11-win season. He's only 27, and he's getting better and better. So because we just showed Kyle Tucker snatching the home run lead from Gunnar Henderson, I wonder if Gunnar's going to take notice. Corbin, he was feasting early on the Mariners. He struck out the side in the first. In the span of about 5 minutes, Corbin Burns struck out the side, and Gunnar Henderson went 425 for his 15th home run. Just an unfair sequence of events from the Orioles. Cowser, he can get an RBI if he beats out this potential web gem. He does. The throw's not in time, and after Seattle got one back, Ryan O'Hearn, wow, that is one of the most impressive swings of the year. 96 in on his hands from George Kirby, and he opens the hips for a no-doubter. He has 20 home runs and a 130 OPS plus over his last 145 games. Just a sick pickup from the Royals. They got him for cash. Now we can focus on Corbin Burns, who struck out Sebi Zavala for his 10th strikeout, make it 11 after he caught Josh Rojas looking. Corbin now has a 2.5 ERA, and Joey Ortiz, he's on the Brewers now. He's been raking, so it's kind of looking like a win-win trade. Hopefully they can re-sign Corbin Burns. Now skipping to the 9th, both teams, they scored a few. So Kimbrel, he toes the rubber with a 6-3 lead, which should be plenty. There you go, Craig. He strikes out 2 in his first save opportunity in 16 days. The Orioles improved to 29-15, and on paper, they're about as loaded as it gets. The Phillies can really pack a punch as well, especially now that Alek Bohm is, whoa, Jesse Winker, he caught that ball. Nice little grab from Wink. Nick Castellanos, he got one to land later for the game's first run, and Bohm, he skied a sac fly to deep right. Jacob Young and Eddie Rosario almost bodied botched that. They ran into each other, but the out is made. Staying with Rosario, he somehow got to a pitch at his kneecaps for a 2-run jack. He's up to 6 home runs, 6 stolen bases, but he's hitting just 180. The score is knotted up at 2-2. Marsh, he's going to try Winker. Winker says no again. He robs the Phillies twice in the first 4 innings, and then he muscled up for a loud home run. He knew it instantly. Washington, they're up 1, but Bohm, he's up with the bases loaded. He lasered a ball to Rosario, who does have a cannon, but Schwarber, he's in there. Alek is 1 RBI from the 40 RBI club, and I guess now they're calling Cody Clemens the Missile, which makes sense because his dad, Roger Clemens, was called the Rocket. Cody now has 10 RBIs and 28 at-bats. Castellanos, he rewarded Clemens. He brought him home, and Bryce Harper added to their lead with a 2-run double to center field. He had 3 base hits in this one. He's up to 35 RBIs, which 99% of the time would mean you have the team lead in RBIs, but Alec Bohm, what is he doing this year? He pimped the you-know-what out of his 5th home run. He steals the MLB lead back with RBIs 40, 41, and 42. He passes both Ozuna and J-Ram. Nola was Nola again, 7 innings, 2 base hits, 5 strikeouts, but we've seen that before. Moving on. You know what else we've seen before? Aaron Judge going yard, but I guess we'll show that in a second because the Braves might be broken. Bryce Elder, he has been batting practice Elder ever since he was named an All-Star last season. Cronenworth, he connected for a 2-run home run, which, by the way, can we get more umpire cams? I love these. Thank you. Jackson Merrill, he added a 3rd run. The 21-year-old is casually hitting .291 with 18 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, and very good defense at a position he started playing a few months ago. Tatis, he did that last year, and he won a freaking Gold Glove. There's Nando with a 2-run double the other way. I thought that ball was going to be gone. My jaw kind of dropped, but obviously it's a double. Tatis is hitting .310 with the 400 on base percentage in the month of May. Arise, he was safe, by the way, after the replay was overturned. He snuck his hand in there. Elder, he kept getting torched. The Padres teed off for 6 runs off the birthday boy. Profar's RBI double ended his night. That's just mean, Bryce, it was his birthday, and you ruined his birthday party, okay? The Padres, they got their 7th run on a Xander Bogaerts sac fly, and then their 8th on a Campusano laser beam. Luis Campusano now has 25 RBIs, and dating back to last year, he has 11 home runs and a 125 OPS plus over his last 90 games. Ha-Sung Kim, goodbye, 6 home runs and 9 stolen bases. This was all for Yu Darvish, who absolutely dusted the Braves for his 200th professional W. Remember, he came on over from Japan. Yu has not allowed a run in like 3 weeks. He punched out 9 Braves. He lowers his season ERA to 2.08. And if you guys forgot, Yu Darvish is approaching 38 years old. Is he aging like fine wine? Now, one clip I do have to show. What is Ronald doing? Manny hit one straight to him. I don't know if it got lost in the lights. It had to have been lost in the lights, but he just flat out dropped it. And Braves fans, they're now wondering what's up with Ronald because the strikeouts are way up. They've doubled. He had an 11.4 strikeout rate in 2023. He's now at a 24.9 strikeout rate. The slugging is down over 200 points as well. Now, I think he's going to be just fine. He just has to figure out the whiff issue. Again, a whiff is a swing and miss on a ball inside the zone. The Braves, they fall to 5 games back of first place. Man, I feel bad for White Sox fans, and I say that because Corey Julks and crew actually went up 2-0 after the first 2 innings. Julks had a home run. Remillard had an RBI triple. Why do I feel bad? Well, it's because the White Sox teased their fan base. Jose Trevino tied it on 1 swing. He clutched up to score 2 in the second, and if you're allowing 3-run home runs to John Birdie, you probably are not going to win that game. No offense, John Birdie. Aaron Judge, what? He flicked the baseball out for a 339-foot short porch special. Again, he can sneeze and the ball will go out. Judgy now has 10 home runs, 21 RBIs, and 21 walks over his last 24 games. Jose Trevino is swinging a hot bat as well. Whoa, wait. Corey Julks, get up and get it, bro. You just got to tip your cap. That is an insane play to rob Trevino of a home run. Rodon, I do want to tip my cap to him. He's been much better to start 2024. He struck out 6. His ERA is now down to 3.2, which is only because he allowed 6 earned runs a few starts ago. The Yankees, they've won 7 in a row. They're 18 games over 500, and they've outscored their opponents by 74 runs. So if we're going to talk about the Yankees, I feel like it's only right to talk about this Rays-Jays game and vintage Manoah. Yeah, Manoah was back. The dreadlocks were also back, and I don't think that he's going to change his look after having 2 fantastic starts in a row. He had a clean first inning. Randy, he couldn't catch up to the 94 in on his hands. Danny Burgers, he found a barrel. Vogelback has his first as a Blue Jay. George Springer cracked a 2-out double, and the Jays, they were handed a free run right after. Paredes, he just straight up olayed it at third base. Alejandro Kirk, he smoked a pitch in the 6th to make it a 5-run lead for the Blue Jays. Randy, he almost made the leaping grab, but just out of reach. So if it's a 5-run lead and it's 5-0 after 6, Manoah threw a shutty. He's at 95 pitches. Pitch number 96 gets Izak swinging. He gets the 2nd out, and then the 3rd out, Johnny DeLuca waves at 93 at his eyebrows. Alek, get hyped up. I'm going to allow him that. Good for him. That's his 7th strikeout. He goes 7 innings, 1 base hit, and then some dude named Pop allowed Paredes to show off his pop. Izak now has 9 home runs and 62 in his career. All 62 have been pulled home runs. Romano ended up replacing Zach Pop. Jordan got the easy 1-out save as he strikes out DeLuca. The Blue Jays, they're 20-25 in last place, but if Manoah is back and Springer stays hot along with Vladdy and some other guys, the Jays, they could go on a serious run. Just like the Yankees have a nice little streak going, the Giants have one as well. They're second in baseball with a 4-game win streak. I hate to spoil it, but McMahon, that home run did not phase Jordan Hicks. Ryan's up to 7 home runs, and Jorge Soler, he wanted it in on the fun. Am I lying to all of you? That's another home run robbery. Jake Cave pulled it back. The Giants, they might not win 4 in a row. Dakota Hudson was great, but he's also Dakota Hudson, and he's trying to go 5, but that's a leadoff walk. And then Casali, he singled, and then Lamont Wade Jr., he's unstoppable versus righties. It's now 1-1. Dakota got his ground ball, but Tyro's speed extends the inning, so, I mean, that's just baseball, man. Matt Chapman hit a rocket 175-mile-per-hour single for the lead. I mean, he crushed that thing, and McMahon, who is usually a human vacuum over there at third base, that is one of the most rare errors you'll see in baseball. Say rare errors 10 times fast. Elliot Ramos, he looks like a threat, like an actual threat. That's his first of the year, went 410 feet, but his exit velocities and bat speeds are some of the best in baseball. He's up there with Judge, O'Neal Cruz, Giancarlo Stanton, Ronald Acuna Jr. with exit velos and bat speed. Hicks, he got his 4th win after Duvall went 1-2-3 in a clean 9th. He's got 8 saves, and again, the Giants, I'm not lying, they've won 4 in a row, but because the Padres and the Dodgers are winning a lot lately as well, the Giants are still 8.5 games back. The Royals stay winning ball games as well, and I'm mad as a baseball fan because I thought the A's were really about to shock people. They won, 6 or 7 games in a row, and now they suck again. Maikel Garcia has a 7-game hit streak, and Bobby Witt Jr., he traded places for 2 straight doubles. Bobby's all-time speed, he's going to show that off on Salvi's base knock up the middle. So Salvi's up to 38 RBIs after Bobby scores. Skipping to the 5th inning, JP Sears, he's trying to keep it close, but Maikel Garcia, he had a runner in scoring position, so just pencil in an RBI. Garcia's 2nd double of the game gives him 29 RBIs. He then stole third base. He's 11 for 11 in stolen base attempts, and Bobby's grateful because that means this is going to be an RBI sack fly instead of just a normal sack fly. Brady Singer, he was electric. He struck out a near season high 9 hitters. I think his season best is 10. He owns a 2.7 ERA, and he has 61 strikeouts in 56 innings, which is really good for a guy who's not really known for big strikeout numbers. Vinny Pasquantino, he came in as a pinch hitter, and look at him. He rips a pinch hit triple to send the A's to their 8th consecutive L in a row, while the Royals, they stay within 1.5 games of the Guardians because just like Cleveland, the Royals have also won 3 games in a row. Corbin Carroll is one of those guys that just has to get going, and he jolted a double to left field. Wait, they threw it to second. They thought he was going to stay at second. He's trying for third now. That is a tough play for the umpire, but he got it right. Corbin gets a triple just past the glove of Mark Canha, and Jock, he got it past another Detroit outfielder. Wenzel, he whiffs it, and that's an RBI. More Jock Peterson action. He dunks one shallow enough to where Wenzel says, I'm not even going to try to dive at that one. J-Mo, he tossed 2 clean frames before Torkelson lifted his 3rd home run of the year. Detroit, they're actually going to make this a ball game. It's 4-3 after Javi had an RBI single, Vierling with a double. Is this ball leaving? Kerry Carpenter hit one of the longest doubles possible. Corbin completely read it wrong. That ball was clearly going to be off the top of the wall, so he's nowhere near it. Kerry wants 4. He ties it on the triple, but again, he wants the inside the Parker. He's out, though. They wanted to try and challenge to see if there was a blocking call or if the tag actually beat him, but Kerry is out. Pavin Smith, he's up with 2 ducks on a pond, and he chopped one to Javi, and you got to make that grab. Jake Rogers, he's just in after they replaced him with Carson Kelly. The Snakes steal the lead back, and they're going to get another, but it didn't really mean much because Paul Sewald, he popped up Javi to seal his 3rd save. The Diamondbacks, they've officially fought their way back to 500. They're 23-23. The Rangers will fall to 500 if they don't course correct and get this W against the Angels. Both starters were really good. Halo starter Jose Soriano, he's all but replaced Ohtani from last year, which kind of sounds crazy to say out loud. We'll talk about him more in a second. That was the only run he allowed, a solo home run to Corey Seager. He actually pitched into the 7th and 8th inning, but staying with the 7th, before we show off his highlights, Lorenzen, he was throwing a beauty as well, but Willie Calhoun's double started a rally for the Angels. Lorenzen, he then walked Adele, in comes another pitcher, and Hernandez walked the first guy he faced. The bases are now juiced, and Mickey Moniak, he skied one to shallow left. I am throwing my controllers. That is a perfect placement. If that happened against me again, I'm throwing controllers. Only only one score, so it's tied up, but Kevin Pillar, he's been an RBI machine. Give him 16 RBIs in 12 games. That's his 1,000th career hit as well, so he's jazzed up about that. Rengifo, he tripled for another run. He's hitting .310 on the season with 12 RBIs and 10 stolen bases, and what a double play to end it. Luis Guillorme and Neto, they combined for the W. Now we can show off Jose Soriano a little bit because he almost went 8 innings. He struck out 5 Rangers. He now has a 3.3 ERA over 10 games. Soriano and Adele, they've kind of combined to be a mini Ohtani. I mean, it's not fully Ohtani, but they've combined for good numbers. Cardinals fans, shield your eyes, protect your peace. The former Cardinal Tyler O'Neill just smashed his 11th home run. Garrett Cooper, he cashed in an RBI in the second. And Cooper, he's going to score on a Romy Gonzalez double down the left field line. And if you're not looking, please look. Jarren Duran was credited with a triple on this play. The ball was like 30 feet away from third base. What is that effort? That is Jarren's MLB best 7th triple. And by the way, he's top 20 in F4. That's because of plays like what you're about. Okay, not this Lars Nootbaar home run. That was fun. But Goldie, he flared one to shallow left. And Duran was flying in. He makes the diving grab. He has 5 outs above average already. Willie Abreu, he squibbed in another RBI. That was a few moments before Dom Smith kind of flared one in for a 2-run single. He got sawed off, but he still won that at bat. Boston, they're not even close to being done yet. Rafael Devers' eyes did not deceive him. He did just get a 93 center fastball, make it 5 consecutive games now with the home run for Devers. The speedy David Hamilton, he cracked out his 2nd of the year. All of a sudden, he now has 4 extra base hits over his last 3 games. The Red Sox ran it up to 11. Pivetta, he was fantastic. He allowed 1 hit. That was that Lars Nootbaar home run, but he did a great job to bounce back. He had 8 strikeouts. He was awful in his first start off the IL, but Boston starters, they have some of the nastiest stuff in all of baseball. Well, everyone, that does it for today's recap. Again, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your support. We are closing in on 500,000 subs. Thank you so much, and enjoy the web gems.
Diving stop by Rocchio. The flip to Jimenez for 1, and they turn us. There's a bullet. Great play, Rafaela, and a cannon to first. What a play at short. And back, what a play. Now can he throw him out? You bet.
And Bryce straight away center, drifting with it. Young checking his surroundings. He's got it.
Line drive into center. Ciani comes on, and he makes a great diving catch.
And a shot caught as Yandy, a diving grab.
And a ground ball to second. Cole Irvin comes out of the bullpen and gets it out at second.